In 1838, a man named Samuel Rowbotham stepped onto a frozen English canal with a telescope and a conviction that the entire world had been lied to. He wasn't a scientist, he wasn't a philosopher, but what he claimed to see through that telescope would spark one of the strangest battles in modern history, one that somehow still rages today. This is the stories of how the flat Earth controversy really began. Picture this. The year is 1838. Britain is deep in the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines, telegraphs, and science are redefining everything. But in a quiet town called Bedford, a man named Samuel Rowbotham is about to rewrite, or try to rewrite, the shape of the world itself. He walks to the edge of a perfectly straight canal, 6 miles long, flat as glass. He sets up a telescope about 8 inches above the waterline and looks through it at a small boat rowing away. According to standard physics, the boat should disappear below the curve of the Earth after a few miles. But Rowbotham swears it doesn't. To him, this isn't just proof of a flat Earth, it's proof that science itself has been corrupted. He writes a pamphlet, later a book, Zetetic Astronomy, Earth Not a Globe. And in it, he argues something radical, that knowledge shouldn't come from authority, but direct experience. Zetetic means to seek. What he was really saying was, don't trust them, trust yourself. And that one sentence would echo for almost 2 centuries. Now here's where things get weird. Most of us grew up with the idea that people in the Middle Ages thought the Earth was flat, that Columbus had to prove it was round. But that's not actually true. Since at least the 3rd century BCE, nearly every major civilization, the Greeks, the Arabs, the Persians, even early Christian scholars, knew the Earth was round. The Greek philosopher Eratosthenes even measured the planet's circumference in 240 BCE with nothing but a stick, shadows, and math, and he was off by less than 1%. The flat Earth myth didn't really exist until the 1800s, when Rowbotham's book and a few sensationalist authors revived it. Ironically, the myth that everyone thought the world was flat was actually a modern invention, a way for 19th century intellectuals to make the past look ignorant. So when Rowbotham came along, he wasn't reviving an ancient belief, he was creating a modern one. Samuel Rowbotham wasn't a trained scientist. He'd been a preacher, a lecturer, a sort of traveling debater. But he had a gift. He could make complex ideas sound like common sense. He'd hold live demonstrations showing audiences how distant ships never vanished below the horizon. He'd use quotes from the Bible, arguing that God had made the earth as a flat plane. And he appealed to something that's timeless, distrust of elites. Victorian England was full of inequality. Workers felt excluded from the new world of science and progress. Rowbotham's message was intoxicating. The scientists are lying to you. You can see the truth with your own eyes. And people believed him, enough that his followers formed the Universal Zetetic Society, the world's first organized flat Earth group. It wasn't about data, it was about defiance. After Rowbotham's death in 1884, his ideas didn't die, they multiplied. A woman named Lady Elizabeth Blount, a wealthy spiritualist, took up his cause. She organized new Bedford experiments, published newsletters, and kept the fire alive. By the early 20th century, the movement reached America. A man named Samuel Shenton founded the International Flat Earth Research Society in 1956, just 1 year before Sputnik orbited the Earth. When reporters asked him how he could deny space photos, Shenton simply said, "It's easy to see how a photograph could be faked." It's almost poetic. As humanity looked outward, the flat earth believers dug inward, deeper into suspicion. By the 1960s, the Flat Earth Society had become more of a curiosity than a threat. People laughed, scientists ignored it. But they probably shouldn't have. Because the next revolution, the digital one, was about to give the movement everything it needed. Fast forward to the 2000s. The internet connects billions of people, and with it, billions of perspectives. In the early days of YouTube, a handful of creators began uploading evidence videos, repeating Rowbotham's 19th century arguments almost word for word. The Bedford experiment, the horizon never curves, the Antarctica ice wall. Algorithms noticed that these videos kept people watching. And what keeps you watching online? Controversy, outrage, the thrill of hidden truth. So the platforms did what they were designed to do, amplify. By 2016, surveys showed that millions of Americans, as much as 2% of the population, entertained the idea that the Earth might be flat. And the irony, every major argument from those viral videos came straight from a canal experiment done almost 2 centuries earlier. So, why does this idea survive? Why, in a world of satellites and live streams from the International Space Station, do some still believe the planet beneath their feet is a disk? Psychologists point to 3 key things. Cognitive dissonance. When facts threaten identity, we reject the facts. Community, believing in something different, creates belonging. Distrust. When institutions fail, conspiracy fills the vacuum. Flat Earth belief isn't really about the shape of the planet. It's about the shape of trust. In a world of deepfakes, misinformation, and invisible algorithms, it's not crazy that people question what's real. What's tragic is how easily that doubt can be turned against them. The Flat Earth story isn't a tale of stupidity. It's a mirror. It shows how fragile our relationship with truth can be. When Rowbotham looked through that telescope, he didn't just see a straight canal. He saw himself, a man standing against the establishment, armed with nothing but curiosity and conviction. And maybe that's what still resonates today. Because even now, in an age of science and space travel, many people still feel unseen, unheard, and unsure who to trust. The shape of the Earth was never really the question. The question was, who do you believe, and why?